Well, that was it. We have our second night complete here at the Moody Center in Austin, Texas, and I would say a much cleaner night. There was a couple of songs last night that maybe had a couple of issues, and there were some opportunities tonight. A couple of songs that maybe would require a little bit of practice time. Guelah Papyrus being one of them. Reba in there. We opened with Punch You in the Eye. Even last night, the jams a little bit. Some of the jams, while they were nice, the return into the song, if they wanted to give it a proper finish, they had a little trouble there, a little rough going from jam back into the song. Well, tonight they fixed that by not really trying to give the songs a proper finish. Just kind of moving on. And, let's go back to the Punch You in the Eye opener that I mentioned. And, you look, a popular opener call tonight. Several people called to Punch You in the Eye. Throughout their history, it's always been a good, solid opener, a good way to get things going. The intro even funked around with the intro a little bit there. And like I said, it was one of the songs, the playing, maybe a little bit, like after last night, maybe if you saw it on paper, songs like that, or Reba, or Guelah Papyrus, maybe some concerns, but no, again, a cleaner night here. And then we get into Free, one of several jams tonight that somewhere in that 8 to 12 minute range, I guess, where they didn't need to run too far with it. Kind of kept it in the park within the song, and that was what was going on with Free. That was one of them. Look at it. We get the sound check special in My Soul. Nice little rocker here early in the set, followed by Mike Gordon's 555. Had to feel like that was going to be coming at some point. I feel like maybe we've been a little light on the Mike songs, possibly so far. Maybe not. Maybe we are getting one a night, perhaps. Maybe not, though, I know Mike Gordon's Meat does not count, however. And then here we go. There's the Reba. No whistling in the Reba. I think we got a Reba already this year that did include the whistling. So I guess that's going to be 50-50. Hey Stranger, one of the better out of the newer songs that have been debuted over the last year or two. Hey Stranger's been one of my favorites. And then tonight it comes through. It had a very nice jam, just similar to the Free, similar to what we're going to get in Plasma. Chalk Dust over here. Plasma not not quite going away. It was very strong, almost like we were going through the Plasma era a couple of years ago. But then they have cooled off a little bit on Plasma. So really, we're not really down to a slow point yet. I guess Reba felt maybe even 555, like possibly these three were in the same bracket. And 555 kind of out here on its own. Reba, obviously, nothing quite like Reba. And then Hey Stranger and Plasma kind of run together. Guelah Papyrus sort of breaks the action up. One of Trey's favorite songs he mentioned one time, and obviously remembering that. And then Moonage Daydream, a really strong end of the set, not just throwing a crowd-pleasing cover at you, really giving it a strong effort there, building with some real intensity and nice crescendo in that one. So I was caught to be a little bit surprised there. Sometimes if it's not immediately a song that I am all about into the set, they can possibly lose me. They brought me right back quickly with the Moonage Daydream. Okay, now possibly that was not the set over here with rock and roll, the same case, but so Chalk Dust Torture, that's how we open up the second set. And again, so like I said, I think already with the Free and the Plasma, the jam not running too long, didn't really need to though. Had a bit this sort of joyous sound. Several of the jams did tonight, really. And then Twist really very, like they were in a hurry, Trey sure loves him some Ruby Waves because the Chalk Dust and Twist, both nice. The Twist jam seemed like it was, maybe it was going to be the hog in the second set, but then no, here comes Ruby Waves, kind of hogging up all of our time. And early on, the first maybe third of the jam here in Ruby Waves kind of felt like it was similar to last night, kind of spacey, slow, quiet, very relaxed, everything kind of chill. The energy kind of like, I don't want to say low energy as in it was like it was bad, like they had sucked the energy out of the room, nothing like that, but just not the powerhouse of Moonage Daydream, that's for sure. But then it slowly did start to kick up a notch. Mike, once Mike starts playing around with the sounds of the bass, automatically things get better, just pushing other guys in the band. There's a point where it almost had this like sort of timbery sound to it a little bit. Then I felt like they were teasing something in there too. I don't know if it was Miles Davis or something jazzy was in there. No bluegrass tonight. Bluegrass taking a seat. Perhaps blues showing its face. I don't know. All right, so then I felt like we were teasing some jazz over here. And then we get into a nice, a nice Monsters, another one Trey loves to play. And again, you know, along with Hey Strangers, Monsters, one of my favorite of the newer songs that have been unveiled here over the last couple of years. Limb by Limb, welcomed addition, like another one that maybe it was like, if this would have been last night, perhaps we would have had to stumble our way through Limb by Limb. And, you know, and even these, there are times maybe when, you know, if I picked my like all-time favorite versions of Punch You in the Eye or Guelah Papyrus or Limb by Limb, maybe these weren't quite that tonight, but very good. And then Split Open and Melt, there's a part there toward the very tail end of the jam when Mike comes along, and it's just like this wormy sounding bass, just really driving right through the sound of all of them. Ending the set with Rock and Roll. It's I was kind of rooting for the Melt to be the set ender. Push that one a few minutes longer, but nope. Rock and Roll it is, and then, you know, a waste SANTOS encore. Whew, that's not my favorite choice, but everything else throughout the night, really. You know, I did not to end on a sad note here, but up until these final three songs, almost everything got a big, whatever the opposite of an eye roll would be. I was pretty fired up about everything being played tonight. I thought it was a much better show overall, not necessarily just because of the song selection, but thought the playing was better. The jamming, while there was the jamming more spread out, you know, it was kind of everything. It was kind of hogged last night, just a couple of, although Ruby Waves did take up a lot of the second set stage time. It's all right. Every time you think maybe they've moved on from Ruby Waves, they hit you with another one. This one must have been somewhere in that 25 to 30 minute range. All right, guys. Boom. Austin, Texas, complete. On to the next one. Thanks, everybody that's been tuning in. See, even guys giving the videos a thumbs up. I haven't even really had to ask for a thumbs up yet. And it's like, whoa, look at that. 200 of them one night. All right, guys. Boom. We're out of here. Really, I do appreciate you watching each night. Thank you. Love you guys. And fish on or something. Boom, I guess we say.